The feature presentation is brought to you by Victor Newman. Enjoy. Now I love Lucy like she loved Gucci. She used to call me Ricky, her left-handed lucky. I call her Penny Dreadful. Ho was so skeptical, couldn't believe that she was fucking with the special. Name should be Echo. I ain't never stop hollering, I ain't never stop bothering the powers that be. See, look at me with recognition. My name you must remember. All men must die, and this is members only. Take their head, dismember. Got the skull, got the bones. Welcome to the Game of Thrones. Only rule you die alone. Storm the castle, kill them bastards, all of them little rascals. No Tupacs, no Biggies, gonna grow up to see me. Yeah, bring me your Jay-Z. Got a whole bunch of little Waynes. They were red, they got dreads. They ain't ate since the baby fed. Now get back to the shit, man. Now get to the shit, man. So, good morning. How y'all doing today? So I haven't done anything for a few days, and because of the tragedy of Kobe Bryant, like I don't even feel comfortable. Like everything feels like exploitation, like after someone passes. And it's so funny, like, right, what I would call one of my counselors, or right, my biggest haters, I guess, now that I see it, is that one of them called me an opportunist. And it's like, if I was an opportunist, then I would be a Christian, or I'd be a Muslim, or Nation of Islam, a Buddhist, anything, like any of those things that you learn those teachings, and then you practice those teachings, and you teach those things that were taught to you, right? And so if I was an opportunist, it's so easy to use the Bible. It's so easy to use the Quran. It's so easy to use the things that people have written down, that thought about things a lot harder than I have in one specific category, right? But I'm not an opportunist, right? And this counselor that I have, I've always noticed and always known that he's like just a hater, right? It's like, I don't want to get into all the big words about things, because like if white people don't like you, they haters, there's no such thing as white supremacy. Fuck all that racist shit. It's just they don't like you. They haters, period, right? And so I noticed that this man was never really, I've never been his cup of tea, right? And then you got this other dude, right? I'm getting into this shit too soon. Okay. Good morning. This is Bipolar in Cleveland. I am your host, Richard Clemens. I recently changed the name of the show from The Richard Clemens Show to Bipolar in Cleveland. Reasons being are many, right? It's the fact that my narcissism wanted me to name the show after myself. And then I seen that special on Richard Pryor. He had the Richard Pryor show, and Richard Pryor being one of the main ingredients of me starting the TNC church in the first place. Well, TNC, because the last letter C stands for church. So TNC in the first place. So I just thought it being in line, or what you would call that? Well, whatever, in line with me calling my show The Richard Clemens Show, right? After Richard Pryor named his show after himself. And on the introduction that never made it to air was that him standing there naked with his balls cut off. It's like he didn't sacrifice anything. He got there on his own merit. He didn't have to play ball at all with the white folks, and then they panned down to show him with no dick and no balls, like you had to give up everything, to deal with these people. So, to get off of myself and to, I I don't know, make it more relevant. And if I go off, if my bipolar flares up like hemorrhoids, then y'all will understand, and I don't have to keep explaining myself because we're never going to get nowhere because I'm always repeating, it's like wash, rinse, and repeat. Like, I always think that nobody's listening, right? So I repeat the same things that I've said 1,000 times in a different way or more elaborate, and all of that is part of the plan. But for people so I just named the show Bipolar in Cleveland. And so, new people would be like, what is he on? Like, I'm still on the same stuff that I've been on before. But play that beautiful theme music. So let's get into it. Oh, no, before I get into it, let me give you a quote. All right, positive thing for the day, or however that goes, from my cousin, Rashad. Everybody knows him as 20. It says, be so positive that negative people don't want to be around you. He's not the first person to post that, or however it goes, but I think that's how I have to be now. It's like I have to stick to my guns. Oh man, I messed up, right? Because I was supposed to give y'all this introduction from Louis Farrakhan. So I'm gonna put that in here, right? I am. And so, damn it, I think it's gonna go in the beginning. I got it, or maybe the end. Right? Because I don't know. I don't get the choice on like where the placement of my editing goes. Like if I try to splice things together, I don't know how it works. Like if it's the first one that you recorded, or the last one you recorded, or which one has the longer time. It's like it just puts it together how it wants to. Because I be trying to splice things together, to go here, but the shit might go at the end, it might go at the beginning. It's like, okay. So it's like you have to be raw, uncut, get it right the first time. When you're telling the truth, you don't have to remember. So my point to all this, I guess I'm trying to get to, is like, right, so so New Year's Eve, right, I came home and did an episode, right, caught the gunshots right outside my window, people shooting and everything. It was a good episode to me, but the thing is that before that, right, and I made it home before 12 o'clock, it took me a minute to get everything set up and start my podcast for that night, so I was in before 12, you understand? So it's a different type of mentality, what you want to do, on the New Year's, and so before that, I had got really, really high, right? And so calling myself like, ready to quit stuff and all that other thing. And so, this is my last shebang or however. So I was really, really high, right? For a minute. And so then, like I was over my dude's Reggie house, same birthday as me. Shout out to Reggie. But, so people come over and everything like that. So it's like, you got me, Kick, Booski, whatever, Chris, right? Because Chris and Booski, you know what I'm saying, these are the motherfuckers that like to record people and shit, you know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm trying to get to, because these, like I'm talking about, I don't know how I got on the subject, however, it don't fucking matter, you know what I mean? Because I was talking about this, about fucking with the kids, you know what I'm saying? About people need to stop fucking with the kids, right? And so, like, these niggas always try to, like, record and be funny on funny shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it made me think about, like, what do you want to hear me say? You know what I'm saying? Like, does this shit, point to you? You know what I'm saying? Is this a shit that you do? You know what I'm saying? Because you're always trying to make a joke out of the shit, you know what I'm saying? So, they want to record shit. And so, I get to talking about Kenny, because this is, fucking pedophile nigga from my fucking hood, you know what I'm saying? They're like, people just let this motherfucker live his life and all this shit, and like this nigga has been, fucking with younger dudes than him forever, you know what I'm saying? And like, I met him up at the game room, right? At Randall Mall, right? When that was open, like this shit is a long time ago, right? But it's just, it shows me, like, because he worked there, so I know, you know what I'm saying, like people like Boy Scouts, fucking priests, okay, like they put themselves in positions to be around children, right? And so I just think about this stuff. So like I see him like years later, I'm like 18 now, right? And so he got sounds in his car, he kicking it, he want to be down, you know what I'm saying, he want to be cool, right? So we supposed to be going around getting, right, we supposed to be getting a girl, right? And he was talking about getting me a job because I needed a job, right? You know, all of that type of stuff. All of that stuff that people say, right? So we cool and everything. So this nigga don't never, you know what I'm saying? He go, like, we supposed to been hooking up with this girl, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I'm young, right? So I just want some pussy, you know what I'm saying? Like, he talking about I can hook you up with a girl and all this. So, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool, I'm with it, you know? And so we'd never get the girl. This nigga go pick up some crackhead. I'm like, nigga, and then he didn't got me drunk by this time. So I'm like, nigga, take me home. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you could tell, like, you know, like, you can tell how, you know, like I've been in jail, I've been, you know what I'm saying, I'm a man, however it goes, and I've been a good looking man, you know what I'm saying, my whole fucking life. So niggas have come on to me, you know what I'm saying, like women, or, you know what I'm saying, sometimes I live in Cleveland, Ohio, so like they talking about fucking Lakewood is one of the fucking biggest homosexuality behind San Francisco. So if it's over there, then you know it's everywhere. You see what I'm saying? However that goes, you know what I mean? Like, it's not my job, okay, to understand all that shit. Like I'm saying, all I know is that my name is Richard Clemens, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, even back then, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you can see how this nigga trying to manipulate, you know? And it's like, so I was saying something about that, right, on New Year's Eve. And about this dude, I mean, like, however I told y'all right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, right, this is the whole point of the show, is that I talk and y'all listen, because if I was talking to somebody else, then they would be, making jokes and shit by now, right? Because that's what they did. Exactly that. You know what I'm saying? They did exactly that. But I'm talking about this man, you know, because I found him, you know what I'm saying? Like, later on, when I'm like 21, 22, you know, it's like I've been telling motherfuckers about, like, this nigga ain't right, you know what I'm saying? Like, do y'all know this motherfucker on 154th, you know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga, you know what I mean? Like, he just came on to me. He didn't even really come on to me. He was like, you know what I'm saying, just trying to be like sneaky, like a pedophile. Like, I don't know, it's like, you know, like you know, get a nigga drunk enough, like, you don't know what's going on, like niggas do to women all the time, you see what I'm saying? It's like that type of stuff, you know? And it's like, I knew what was going on, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you try to be cool about things, because you know, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how other people feel about it, but like, a man coming on to me has always made me feel like kind of scared, you know what I'm saying? It's like, this motherfucker might do something to me if I don't, you know what I'm saying, like, if I don't be cool about this, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a man thinking that he a woman, or I don't know how the fuck that shit goes. So it's like, let me just be cool, you know what I'm saying? Don't say the wrong thing, however it goes, you know, and bag up out this situation as calm as possible. And that's how I've always dealt with it, you know what I'm saying? Never been disrespectful, never, like, I'm not homophobic, so I ain't gonna say you fag, or don't touch me and stuff like that, or, you know, it's like, you know, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I don't, right, no disrespect to big girls or however, but it's like, you know, like, I don't get down like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm good, you know what I'm saying? You seem like a nice person and all that, but hey, you know what I mean? However this goes. So, like, now I'm talking too much about one thing. It's the same thing how I always talk about shit, right? And so, these niggas want to start recording me when I'm talking about this motherfucking fag, a pedophile, you know what I'm saying? Because he used to hang around dudes that was a little bit younger than me, you know what I'm saying? And when I seen that shit, I'm like, nigga, why is y'all hanging around this nigga? You know what I'm saying? This nigga ain't right, you know what I'm saying? It's like this and this and that, right? And these niggas know who I'm talking about because they know I done told them. But see, right, so we sit over here on New Year's Eve, and, you know what I'm saying, when I bring him up, these niggas, you know what I'm saying, because I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying, I say, I'm a grown man, you know, and I ain't, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm a man, however that goes, right, like, never been fucked with type of shit, you know what I'm saying, trying to say that, but these niggas want to be like, I'm like, okay, I was like, I was like, I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always been a man. I ain't never been penetrated, you know what I'm saying? All these niggas like, what you mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm a man. I ain't never said that before in my life, and all this other shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, all this boo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand, like, you know, you can't have, I don't know. But they know me, you know what I'm saying? So they know me, so they want to make it a joke and things like that, you know? And this is when they start recording, right? Or before that, right? Because I was going off on some other shit, talking about my church and stuff like that. So they like to record me when, you know, I go off on certain things. And so they never record the part, you know what I'm saying, about me trying to explain things about 1, 2, 3 and things like that. I didn't even explain to Chris the last time that I saw him, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know that he had put up that part about me saying that I'm a man, I never been, you know what I'm saying? That shit just sound, you know what I'm saying, like you're supposed to say pause after that, right? I try to get all of that out, you know what I mean? Like I'm talking to somebody else, I'm telling all y'all this, YouTube, right? And the nosy people, is because like we have a group, right? And so he posted this up in our group, you know what I'm saying? So this means that all my niggas get to see this shit, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that know us, you know what I'm saying, get to see this. But they know me, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, they know me however it goes. The shit is like, you know what I'm saying, here go Tippy, you know what I'm saying, talking some more crazy shit again, you know what I mean? But the point is that, you know what I'm saying, like when I just seen a nigga, right? And I was like, man, I like, you know what I'm saying, we was gonna fall out because I didn't know that he had put the whole, you know what I'm saying, I didn't know that he had put that part up, right? So, cause I could see he was trying to make me look like a fool, right? Look like, you know what I'm saying, Dumbo or somebody. So, you know, I didn't see that at the time. So he was telling me, right, he was talking about somebody else kept on asking about, you know what I'm saying, Kenny or however it goes, you know what I'm saying? But it was you, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like you the one kept asking me about Kenny. And like that's when I stopped talking about it. Like you don't even get it on the video that much because like I said, like I noticed that they was recording, you know what I mean? And I told them I was trying to give them a simple science observation, you know what I'm saying, a scientific analysis about by, you know what I'm saying, you observing something by definition changes it, you know what I'm saying? So me knowing that they recording me, you know what I mean, changed the whole conversation. Because I could have talked about that shit, you know what I'm saying, the whole thing. Because the whole thing is about you know what I'm saying, with the kids. And then about how, you know, pedophiles and people with bad intentions, you know, put themselves in a position to be around, you know what I'm saying, children, you know, in one form or another, you know. And so this is what he wanted to capture, you know what I mean? But what he captured was me talking about my church and about, nigga, y'all being privileged enough to be, you know what I'm saying, on the ground floor and the reason that I started the church in the first place. And now, let me get to that, right? Because, like, y'all, like, you know, like, I've been talking about this, right? I actually found, I had a podcast before. I didn't, like, my ex-wife had to remind me that I had one because we did some episodes together, and I didn't even, you know what I mean, I didn't forget, but, you know, I didn't, right, stuff is never lost on the internet. So while I was putting Bipolar in Cleveland up on Google Play, because it's on iHeart, it's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, but I hadn't got it on Google Play yet. So when I put it on Google, when I pull up Google Play again, my old podcast come up, like 5 or 6 episodes of this shit, like low quality, all messed up and everything like that. I know I'm getting on subject, but I had done this before. Be quiet, Google. So, you know, I was being kind by telling them that they, you know what I'm saying, like by saying that they my counsel. I mean, like they basically, you know what I'm saying, like my biggest haters, you know what I'm saying. It's not even about, like, right, it's another thing on Facebook I saw about, you know, like people, you know, that's against you or something like that, you know, are your biggest cheerleaders, you know what I mean. It's like, I say some impossible shit and like, you know, it's so impossible that people want it to be true. And so maybe that can lead me into, right, because I ain't even flipped the page yet, because I know what's on the other side. Well, no, I don't. Right. The thing is that, you know, this whole conversation was about them trying to make me look like a fool, and to make it seem like, even when we was over there the other day, they want to start, recording, when I get to talking, you know what I mean? So I gotta be saying something that these motherfuckers want to hear, right? Or they just want to make a joke of shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it's like, right, the one, when I told him that women don't come from man rib, like I told you before, like his whole fucking face, went blank, like, you just lost this nigga there, right? And then the other nigga, want to talk about Jesus, and all this other stuff. But you want to record me like when I explain how, 1, 2, 3 goes and how, women are God, you just a pretender, see what I'm saying? And the children, are the ones that's losing out, in the war against men and women, And so, all of that shit goes over their head, but let me get to talking about something crazy. I forgot what I was talking about. I started talking about the other day, and these niggas want to start recording, you know what I'm saying? And I like, why you ain't record what I was just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always about the jokes and the giggles and shit like that. Like, but nigga, you 50 something years old, you know what I'm saying? You out here playing and saying games, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Messing with these young girls or doing fuck shit, cause you was a fuck boy, you know what I'm saying? Christopher Williams, you know what I'm saying, for putting that shit up on Facebook. Fuck you. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the thing about these niggas, like, they think this is a fucking joke, you know what I'm saying, or I'm joking, you know what I'm saying, like, I ain't playing, and like, this the whole thing, like, right, bipolar, right, say, I ain't bipolar, I ain't crazy, I ain't no genius, you know what I'm saying, like, I took myself out of all those scenarios, right, because I can't be crazy because I'm not a genius, you know what I'm saying, it's a fine line, you know what I mean? And I used to walk that line, so you go back and forth, right? Crazy or genius, right? But I ain't neither. I was just in a room with a genius. And this is what I heard, and this is what I'm telling y'all. And that's my whole point, And it's like, so the encouragement, right? Or you think, right? So these people make me second guess myself. See what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm getting to. And I don't like that part, And so, like, and they think that I don't believe in God. It's like, what I'm starting to get to is what I'm going to tell all of y'all, my dog and my God and all the nosy people, is like, y'all the ones that don't believe in God, like, y'all don't believe in God, I'm not even going to talk about, like, you believe in God the way you want to, and so, it's customized God nowadays. And like, the Bible doesn't teach you that. The Quran doesn't teach you that, all of this stuff, is old, but it's new again. And right. Yeah, I know I got notes here, right? And I just get to going off and things like that. But, like, you got these old ass men, and, these are the same men, like, like, even if you got a family or don't, like, you fuck around on your girl, you know what I'm saying? You do all type of shicey shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga, I seen this nigga fuck this girl on the dance floor, you know what I'm saying, in the club in Akron, you know what I'm saying? It's like, when you was younger, you be thinking that was some, you know what I'm saying, some crazy raw shit, like, like, I'll fuck you right here, girl, you know what I'm saying? And he really did, you know what I'm saying? But like, you think about all of that, the mentality, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been a bad dog before, I mean, right? Like they say, like, women give you sex, you know what I'm saying, before they would give you money. So that was always an interesting thing to learn, later on, and to find out, like, which is which. But my point to all of this is that, like, they made me try to doubt myself, right? And so within this time, right, the Chinese New Year says that it's the year of the rat. And so I have this, maybe I'll play that one, right? Maybe I'll give you that. I can't put it in the middle of the show. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be it's gonna go in the end or the beginning. So it's the year of the rat, you know, and so what we associate with rat being like snitching or telling, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and so my thinking is like, right, I ain't snitching, I'm telling, you know. It's like, if you was like the year of the rat, if you was born in 72, 80, 84, I think it's like 12 years, right? It's every 12 years because it's right, exactly. And the rat is actually the first one on the zodiac of the Chinese calendar, and he won a race that determined all of this a long time ago, you know. It's like, if you really want to know like stuff that we should know from Africa, like you should probably study like Chinese history, you know what I mean? Because they go the furthest back, you know what I mean? Like they will have the most ties to African heritage, you know, because they have the longer story, you know, that comes, all of the shit come from Africa. So like they, you know, like we like 1,000,000 times removed from the shit, and they would be like 1,000 times removed, or however, we 10,000, they 1,000 times removed from it, you know. But they're closer to the truth than we could, you know, than we are. I ain't gonna say that we could ever be, and that's my point. This is why you have me, you know, to get to the truth, right? The truth is always simple, but they always talking about, you know, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. But like, I don't want to catch no fucking flies. I want to kill the motherfuckers. Catch no flies. Honey, vinegar, right. I don't accept the choices. Kill a fly, you know. Right? I could have been a crazy ass little kid, because I used to catch the flies and tear the wings off of them. Right? All by myself. See how many. It's like, it's so funny, like, right, they just circle there. Like in the summertime, they come in your house and then they just get into a circle, like in the middle of your room, and just go around and around. And I just start whacking the motherfuckers and put them in my mother's cellophane cigarette wrapper. Right, tear the wings off with the pliers and then put them in a cellophane wrapper and throw them out the window. Some shit like that, you know. Like, right, you have to practice to be all these bad things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kids, you know, you could do the shit, but like, you know, like, it's not something that you know, you partake in, you know, constantly or something like that, because, right, you become a serial killer. But did I talk about, right, because I said that I was going to start, you know, cutting my episodes down, you know, to 30 minutes. And so, like, we're almost getting up into there. I have ranted and raved again, but like, I'm getting out of the point about, I'm not, what was it? It was something else. Right. It's like, just like the beautiful theme music that you listening to, you know, like my raps have always been like my shield, you know, like, when life fell apart, or when things were, you know what I'm saying, like, wrote a song, you know, like that to get you through. Like, I always wrote a song to get myself through, like, you know, like, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna do this, you know, I'm gonna, you know, we can rebuild him, you know. Always been like that $6 million man. But I guess my only point to this is that, you know, about, right, pedophiles, you know, start early, you know, and if you don't say something, you know, they will continue on, you know, to fuck up other people's lives. And like for these niggas to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you talking about, like, the nigga same age as you, so you talking about you don't, like, oh, he never did that to me, but you know him, though, you grew up with him, though, right? You know he got sugar in a tank, you know? And so, you never told nobody, you know what I'm saying? Oh, he never did it to you, and all these type of things, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never been that type of person, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know something ain't right, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell somebody, if I know them, or even if I don't know them, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Don't do that, you know what I'm saying? Or don't fuck with this person because they, you know what I'm saying, this and that. And I'm sure there's people that told people not to fuck with me, you know, but you can only say it, I don't know, you know, like that's their opinion, right? But my point would be is that, like, what are you know what I'm saying? What are you trying to get down on film? Like, what are you trying to, you know what I'm saying? Because I know they got other secret recordings, you know what I'm saying? Like Booski, you know what I'm saying, been recording niggas for years, you know what I'm saying? Chris, you know what I'm saying, he's a dick rider, so he, you know what I'm saying, he done picked up the habit, you know, like, you wanna make these jokes, and like, who you gonna show this to, and who you know what I'm saying, who's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, moved by these, you know what I'm saying, this shit, or is it just funny, you know what I'm saying, because the shit is always just funny, you know what I'm saying, but it's like, you know, like, you niggas, you the funny ones, you know what I'm saying, like I said before, you 50 something years old, and all these niggas do is gossip and talk about shit, you know what I'm saying, like we back in Glendale Park, you know what I mean, but we not, you know, right, so, as always, didn't mean to go off on all this bullshit, and like, right, I was supposed to be trying to mind my mouth and all of that, you know. It's like I have other bigger fish to fry, you know. Right, I guess maybe it's just me not wanting to talk about the Kobe stuff, you know, so I just picked a good easy way out. I mean, other stuff, you know, it was on my mind also, and it's like like maybe like the narcissism in me came out. Like, I don't want to talk about nobody else but me, you know, especially when it comes to like death and stuff like that, because I'm not very good at dealing with that. And so that would be that. But I'm starting to understand. It's like, you know, it's like I said before, it's like people make you doubt yourself, but then like you get a reinforcement, you know. It's like that Year of the Rat thing came out, you know, and it's a whole little thing. Or yeah, and then like I have these things saved. I hope one of them I could put in the beginning of this show, which is Louis Farrakhan talking about thinking right, you know. And like, these are the things that, you know, I come home to, and you think, you're like, you know, like, and then you be thinking about, like, because I haven't been drinking, right? So it's not, you know, it's like, since I haven't been drinking, you know, the shit started sounding a little bit more crazier than it is, because I be thinking about like all the stuff that I have said, you know, just in these last 40 episodes, right? Because it says that on my Podbean thing, it says that I'm at 40 episodes, and this would be 41, right? And so the Kobe thing had came to me, right? Because it's like, you know, I want to change, or I'm in the middle. I'm already, like, I am changing, right? And so like that happened, and then like, you know how we mind fuck ourselves, and you just be, you know, you just make, you know, you make things like we are this special, you know, we are this special, and then like people downplay, you know, the significance of his life, or they want to talk about, you know, the bad parts, you know, however, you know, of his personality, of his personal life, and all of those things, you know, and you try to compare that with the accomplishments and the giving back that he has, you know, that he has done, you know. It's like we, you know, like we kind of messed up. It's like, and like especially black people, you know what I mean? It's like I put this in my notes, like about, you know, I be feeling guilty about telling y'all about, you know, Jesus or God, and like telling y'all that y'all, you know, like y'all are not right, you know, and you just use God for your own purposes, you know, and you don't really believe in God, right? And then I feel bad about all of that, right? And then y'all go and post shit, you know what I'm saying, about Kobe, about this, and then the white girl want to say nigger, on national TV talking about some Nakers. Like, what the hell? You ain't say Nakers. You ain't try to mix Sixers and Lakers together. None of that. She said nigger. You know what I'm saying? And then this is right. Other posts about Martin Luther King Day when all these white folks on TV talking about Martin Luther King Day. You know what I mean? It's like, and like, where do we, like, this shit is really happening, right? And then like, you know, how many radio stations, how many TV shows do we have? How many, you know, how many of these do we have where you can line up 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 of them, and then, you know, it seems like they're all saying it or they're all doing it. You know what I mean? It's like National Martin Luther King Day, National Martin Luther King Day, King Day, National Martin Luther King Day. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. You know, it's like, wow, like this shit is really happening. You know, and it's the same thing. You know, like with Kobe Bryant. You know, like, you know, they're gonna bring up, you know, all of the negatives that people perceive him, and then, you know, the actual rape allegations, you know, saying that he had with the girl, and, you know, and like, you know, like, we broke that shit down a long time ago. You know, like, niggas broke that shit down a long time ago. You know, I mean, we know he was kind of corny, you know, and all he knew was basketball. You know, he spoke Italian, like he's a Renaissance man. He's what we want to be, actually. You know, niggas don't care about being aloof. We don't care about being introverts. You know, like we relish in that. You know, and so he was essentially, you know, a great black man. You know what I mean? Because that's, you know, I remember like not seeing color or not thinking about caring about, you know, like the flight or the plight of black people, you know, and like, you know, I got mine, you gotta get yours. Shout out to MC Breed. Gotta get mine, you gotta get yours. Right, Tupac, that was like one of Tupac's first, like he was the first original rapper, like doing all the features on everybody's shit. You be like, damn, like this nigga on this nigga shit, he on this. I keep my mind on my money on my mind. Finger on the trick, hand on my nine, man. That was the shit. MC Breed, Tupac. So, I'm saving, right, my man and woman talk for the next episode. I just had to get out, I guess, you know, about people trying to mind fuck you, you know, into doubting yourself, you know. And it's like, and then like, it's the same people like this, like I just told y'all about this situation, you know, not too long ago. And the fact that, you know, they sit up there and say that they don't want to be on my show or I'm crazy or whatever, but then want to indulge in a 30-45 minute conversation with me, you know what I'm saying, about, you know, trying to pick my brain, right? Trying to pick my brain, you know what I'm saying? What you think about this? You know what I'm saying, Rich? What you think about this? And then you got this other retarded ass nigga PJ, you know what I'm saying? Like, he want to talk about other different shit, and then he want to sit up there and say, I'm gonna tell you, you know what I'm saying, like what everybody else don't want to really tell you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you fucked up in the head, and like they just let you talk. I'm like, yeah, that's fine and dandy, but like, nigga, did you just hear the man ask me a question? He say, Tippy, let me ask you this question. What you think about this? You see what I'm saying? See, like, this is the part, you know, like they don't get, right? Because they ask me a question and then my answer actually makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So they don't have nothing to say, or maybe I go too long, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we've been drinking and stuff like that, you know, but that doesn't take away from the fact that, you know, like, you want to know what I think about something, you know, you want to pick my brain on things, you know, and then the retarded motherfuckers don't want to hear shit I got to say in the first place because, you know, they don't want to hear the shit, you know, because that's not what they do, you know. And like, you know, some people, you know, they want to act like, talk like, you know, or say that I don't know what I'm talking about, but you always asking me fucking questions though, right? So that's how that goes. And so I just wanted to get that off my chest because I thought, right, once again, I have changed the name of the show. So we're supposed to be on to new and better topics and plot lines, right? And I'm supposed to be saving this OMC stuff for OMC? Is it OMC? Right. OMC stuff for the last 10 minutes of the program, right? Program about 30 minutes. You know, Cleveland based topics, a little bit of world stuff. I have no fucking idea, right? Who knows? So I do feel better sometimes. So Buddhist, man. You know, just to get some shit off my chest. So Buddhist, man, again. Because I'm not supposed to be wasting my time with talking about people. Now, the thing is this, though, right? Because, like, it all fits, though. Like, it all somehow, you know, it's like I said before, like, you know, because of the soberness, right? I don't know how sober I am because I'm always high, you know what I'm saying? But, like, the drinking part, you know, is not there. So you, like, you know, and I'm not talking about, like, me going to hell because, you know, I'm talking about Jesus. So I'm talking about women being God. It's just the fact that, you know, I'm not saying nothing that hasn't been said before. And, you know, in the bigger scheme of things, like, I try to say, like, nobody is God, you know what I'm saying? So God has nobody, or we come from no thing, you know what I'm saying? We come from nothing. Like, all of those are tricks and plays on words and things that, you know, like, my only point to it is that if y'all want to make it, like, about good and evil, and the explanation of God could be understood, you know, within the realm of my brain, you know, then I could make a version of that story or that scenario that makes more sense to me, you know, because it's all the same colors, it's all the same characters, it's all the same numbers, but it's put into a different format, you know what I'm saying? Something that makes sense to me, you know, and that's all it is, you know. And, like, what I'm not going to tell you, what I'm going to tell you next time is that I do get it now. You see what I'm saying? Like, I was saying that, like, I don't want to use the Bible, don't want to use the Quran, don't want to lose all of the thousands of years of knowledge that came before me, but the geniuses in the room told me that that's exactly what I'm supposed to use, because that's what all preachers and ministers use. Is that it's like, but it's like, how do you use it, you know? Because people that believe in the devil, they still, you know what I'm saying, they use the Bible, you know what I'm saying? Somebody might have wrote, you know, some other, but, like, they start off using the Bible. And however, if you know, like, people that don't believe in God, they still reference the Bible or the Quran for the reasons, right? And so, because I do believe that women are God and that men are the daughters of God, that I can use the Bible and the Quran and all the other literature to prove my point, because it's actually in there, right? Right? God created man in 7 days, right? How long do it take for an egg or a sperm to get to an egg? So Buddhist, man. Because I'm not going to mix up things today. I'm going to stop right here, and I hope you guys have a good day, yesterday, tomorrow, or whenever you are listening to me. My name is Richard Clemens. This is Bipolar in Cleveland, and you have been listening to the TNC Network. And this is a church, and you can donate anytime you want. If you like what I said, send me $1. If you don't like what I said, send me $2. I'm working on the ways that you can do that, just for shits and giggles, and see if somebody actually gonna send me some money, right? Because the way I talk, like, I'm gonna blow it all. But actually, I would use it all to good, you know. Right? Y'all listen to the people that talk all smooth and give them all your money. Like, right, Kanye West, you like get all these people and he's not, you don't even preach, right? He's not the talker, right? Do you have other people talking for him? Like, how do Sunday service work? I don't know. They just listen to music. I haven't tuned in because I don't want my soul corrupted like that no more. So maybe somebody could send me a message and let me know, like, what the fuck do they do at Sunday service? Buddhists, man. I hate to leave y'all, but I have to at some time, right? Bye. Peace out. Till next time. Love you.